Hello, dear listener. This is Luna Daye, and today I am your host, and I am joined by Noah Hawthorne.
Hello, and welcome.
So we are here today to talk about your Kickstarter for Voice of Wild Places. So first of all, what can you tell us about Voice of Wild Places?
Well, the Voice of Wild Places began as a Tumblr meme, which you said to me years ago, and it rapidly evolved. And the whole thing was the gay we found along the way. Kind of like an Indiana Jones style gay historical fiction adventure story. So that idea transformed several times to become what it is now, which is a historical fiction set in 1930, following two former childhood friends as they search for a lost legend, Percy Fawcett, and the city he was looking for.
I love that. And I remember sending you that meme. It was years ago, and we were just like, this needs to happen. I don't think we actually had any intention of it becoming a thing, and now it is, and that's just such magic to see.
Well, yeah, we send each other ideas all the time, and our boards and walls are filled with ideas of what we want to do, but that one just really stuck, and originally it was going to be kind of like an urban fantasy archaeology thing, and it just wasn't working, so that's when I changed it to no fantasy at all. There are some like speculative elements, but completely different from what I normally do.
And I love that for you and for me as a reader. Is there anything else that kind of wove its way into your inspiration?
Well, I mean, I'm a millennial, so I grew up with The Mummy, Indiana Jones, Atlantis, all of those movies, and in another life, I would have been an archaeologist, and in another life, I would have been able to be a little bit more like Cornelius. So it was kind of self-indulgence and wanting to dip into my research history nerd side and do something different, because I've done a lot of fantasy and I enjoy reading historical fiction, but I've always been kind of nervous because I want to do these peoples and places justice.
Yeah, and as somebody who sort of sees some of the behind the scenes stuff, you've done a wild, no pun intended, amount of research that's gone into this for the historical accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of passion and ADHD, but thank you.
I love that. It's just passion and ADHD. But that's why we love your writing. So what are you most excited about this story?
I feel like there's a lot of queer historical fiction, and I would like to see more like trans-centered characters, and like, yes, Cornelius's storyline and his coming out and him living as trans is very important to the story, but it's not the whole focus. And I really would like to see more stories like that. So like I said, it's kind of a little bit of self-indulgence, writing the story you want to read. So
you're hoping that this is going to inspire more books with that sort of front and center?
Yeah, just kind of like, find your people, I guess. And that really has been happening. Like, I try to find indie authors and do them in the book recs and things like that. And I've been doing a lot of queer historical ones, and I have been finding a lot of indies that way. Like, I love KJ Charles and Cat Sebastian and all the big names, but I've been really into, like, Lee Welch and a few other indie authors that are just, I don't know, that's just something else that I really like that's come out of this. It's just the community, especially surrounding the Kickstarter. Like, a lot of people have joined together to share their love for these gay explorers, and that's all I ever really wanted with any of my stories.
I love that. It really is encapsulating that the gay we found along the way motto for the book, isn't it?
Yes.
It was bringing that to life. I love that. So was there anything that surprised you about the writing process for this book?
Oh my gosh, how easily some scenes would go, and then the scenes that I spent literally months on. And I'm curious if people can pick up on that. Probably so. Like, I like to think the whole thing is evenly detailed, but you do have more information on some things than others. So, especially in historical fiction, like, where do you start to make things that weren't there? Like, characters and places and things like that. And I really tried not to do that. I tried to have them go places that I could find information on. And it just surprised me the amount of stuff that you could find, I guess. Like, I was surprised at what I could find in things I found that I never thought I would. Like, just researching in itself was so exciting.
So your Kickstarter has been running for about a week now, and I believe you're almost at the halfway point. What can readers expect from your Kickstarter?
So, for the Kickstarter, I'm offering a few different tiers. I tried to kind of make it accessible to many people as possible. So there's just an ebook, or there's a digital backlist, which is the ebook and all of my other books. So it's like bundled together. And then you can get a signed paperback. And then there's like an adventure box, which is a signed paperback. There's bookmarks, art, stickers. And there's the option to have painted edges. Kind of like simple but plentiful. Like a lot of stuff that goes with the story. I was really lucky to have a lot of art. Like not only did I commission, but Benedetta and Henny both just went wild with the amount of art that they made for this, and it really made me grateful. But yeah, there's just so much that comes with it. That's not only scenes from the story, but the characters. I'm working on a map. I'm hoping to kind of be able to kind of throw that in there. Just I want to make it feel like you're a part of the story and part of the adventure. So I'm hoping when I put the boxes together, it'll come out that way.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, you got the very first OG, the Eternal Machine.
I did.
And I miss doing it like that. Like, I went so hard for that, and I made, like, hand-wrote letters, and I kind of miss that.
Which destroyed me, by the way, that handwritten letter at the end.
Exactly, that's the whole point. I wanted to destroy you.
I think that was one of my reading it at 1 a.m. situations, and I was just like, God damn it.
Yes. So I want to evoke that kind of feeling, and I'm also doing annotated books. The annotated books come with all of the stuff.
And you've also got a stretch goal for the audiobook as well, I believe?
Yes, I have 3 stretch goals. The first one will be a short story and kind of epilogue. Mild spoiler alert, there is no sex scenes in this book. There's a lot of heavy petting and very metaphorical, lyrical, erotic language. But it's my first book to be like this. And I know some people might be disappointed, so I am going to include in the short story Watt's training session. And then special edition hardback from Crossroad Art. They have agreed to do a jacket, which if I get the edition, then I will put the short story in that as well. And I really am hoping for that. I love their art, but I'm also really excited for the potential audiobook by Sam Stark.
Nice. Well, come on, everybody. We need to get to the full stretch goals for this.
Yes, we need all of them. Like, they're all just so good. And I was trying to, think of what to do. And I'm like, well, this sounds good.
Yeah, I think they're very good stretch goals. And I fully believe we can get there. Now, do you have any advice for any other authors who would like to potentially publish their works through Kickstarter?
I was really lucky to have a few people in my corner that have done this before. Tess and Sebastian both have done books on Kickstarter, and it was really helpful to see realistically what I needed to think of. There's a lot of things that I didn't take into consideration, so just if you can reach out to someone that's done it before, I would highly recommend that, or just take a look at other book Kickstarters and see what theirs looks like, what they do, what they offer, and that really helps. And give yourself a lot of time. Like, I started planning this back in the spring. I've known for a while I wanted to do it, but I started planning really early, so when it actually happened, there wasn't too much to do other than market.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. What's the one thing that you hope readers take away from Voice of Wild Places?
I hope that, especially when it comes to Cornelius, that people can see themselves in him and his storyline, and maybe they finally get a trans character that doesn't have shitty parents and, gets a good happy ending and is kind of the lead in a lot of things. I don't know, I just really like Cornelius's character, and I hope that people connect with him. And also Watt, he's kind of my pathetic kick boy, and I hope that other people that have gone through similar traumas can find some comfort in him. I really am character focused in my stories, and I feel like a lot of what they go through, especially in 1930, is relatable to what we're going through now. A lot of discrimination happening, and I just hope that people can find some comfort in it.
I actually teared up a little bit with you saying that.
Oh.
I was like, I want that too.
It is really hard, and sometimes, that's what I hope this is.
I'm certain that it will be. So if people want to check out Voice of Wild Places, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can find everything on my website, or you can search me up on the Kickstarter or anything like that. My website is neshamopublishing.com. That's Neshama. I've got Instagram, Tumblr, Blue Sky, all that good stuff.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on today, Noah.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.